The next one, Steve, in fact, I think this is a great question for you. In fact, I think I saved one because I think it's important. First of all, let me say you're fairly strongly against Wildomar becoming a city at this point.
Infeasible city, but yes.
All right. I'm glad I say with a lot of people, and I think this is one that you would need to have the opportunity to address. A lot of people kind of wonder, is there a contradiction in being against cityhood and running for city council? I wanted you to have the opportunity to share why you would run and be against that. I think it's only fair.
No, there isn't a contradiction. In fact, what it is, City Council has the opportunity to raise taxes or propose a tax question. Now, if Wildomar becomes a city, as a candidate, you won't get that from me. You will not get a tax question at all. Also, there's no special interest in my camp at all. I don't accept money from contractors or from landowners, developers. And also, if Wildomar became a city and you guys elected me as a city council, we would run a lean government.
Okay, thank you. Roger?
I too am opposed to the cityhood. And I couldn't be here tonight to tell you that. If I hadn't run for city council, I never had any illusions that I'm going to win. I'm serving on the municipal council, and I'm giving you my best advice that I can muster, and that's that we need a little time.
Okay. Tim?
I'm against raising taxes, and 218 kind of spells it out. Proposition 218. If taxes are going to be raised here in Wildomar, it's going to be a vote of the people by 2/3. So that's in response to
okay. Bridget?
And when we went out for the Parks assessment, it wasn't easy, and the Parks assessment passed by a slim margin. So the chances that the Wildomar residents pass a tax here are very unlikely.
Yes, Cheryl.
I just have something to say. If the residents come to you as a council person, Mr. Butts, and say, we want an additional amenity or service in our community, and the only way we'll get that is by assessing ourselves, are you going to say, tough, you're not going to get it? Because I'm not going to bring it forward. I'm not even going to give you the chance to assess yourselves.
If the voters would like to assess themselves, I would never stand in the way of that.
But that's not what you said.
I said I would never bring the tax question to the voters.
But you're the policymaker, so you'll be the one bringing it to the voters.
I will not bring a tax question to the voters. The voters would have to bring it to me.
Anyone else want to comment? It's okay, I'm not to the point of calling security yet. You guys are fine. Of course, be aware there are. All right. The question that I had for you is, if cityhood does occur, what would you say are the first three things that need to be done? A lot of us are curious at the start of the new city, what's the first three things that need to be done?
Number one is to hire a good, strong, competent city manager, and give the city manager some direction regarding hiring staff and heading us down the direction that the people of Wildomar want to go. Also in that area is we need to establish what our priorities are, and I think we need to address the weak points first. And like I said before, I think the weak points are roads, planning, building and safety, and such as that. And the council needs to work very closely with the staff that we hire to send us in that direction where we take control of planning, we take control of building and safety, and we make sure that we get high quality development. Finally, I think economic development. We need to encourage economic development. We're going to have to go out and try to attract those high quality businesses that we want to have established in Wildomar.
Okay. Did anyone else have a different priority that you think is the first priority? Yes, Harold.
Well, actually, I have three. I'll mention three priorities. One is a place for public meetings in the Wildomar community. Second is we need to concentrate on staffing the proper staff to meet the community's needs. as well as a budget and control of the budget.
Cheryl Duncan.
Well, if you're talking about the interim period or the period starting July 1st, assuming, I mean, we have to be up and running July 1st. So we have to call, after the election meeting it goes through, we have to call a city council meeting. We have to sit down and write down priorities, what we're hearing from the people, so that we don't forget about those. We have to hire an interim city manager, interim city attorney, interim planning director. We have to set up banking. I mean, there's a whole list of things we have to do.
Right. Steve?
One of the first things I would propose would be term limits for the city council people. The worst thing you can do to a volunteer is turn them into a professional politician.
Anyone else want to share a different priority that you think right out of the gate? Bob, your question is, what would you see as far as the development of parks in Wildomar? Is it a matter of improving the existing parks, adding additional parks? What are your thoughts on the park situation?
We definitely don't have enough parks in Wildomar, and as Wildomar continues to grow, we're going to need parks that we may not even thought of. The big thing is you need to start thinking in terms of where you're going to buy land for your parks before it's too expensive for you to buy land for those parks. So I think right away I would like to know not only where the land is, but how we might go about getting a funding source for those parks.
Okay. Anyone want to have a comment, thought about parks, Steve?
Yeah, we live next door in Parkside Estates to an 80-acre regional park, which most of the city council candidates have been fighting to put a college on it. Now, that was set aside for ballparks and different recreational needs, and it also has MHACP land on that as well. But it's interesting to me that they want to turn it into a...
Bridget?
I have not been fighting for a college on that land. What our priorities of parks is we need a park on the east side of the freeway. And when we campaigned for the parks, Supervisor Buster in the county told us that if we went out and got the assessment that they would build a fourth park on the east side of the freeway. We did our job, we came through with the assessment, and the park is still not built. So that is the #1 priority. We have to go out and make sure we still get that park on the east side of the freeway.
I'm sorry, would you share with the audience, is there already a location for that park?
There was a location. There was 4 developers together that were going to give us a 10-acre park, and then we have enough money, well, the county has enough money in the parks funding to build the park. We do not have enough money to build and purchase the land, but the developers were going to give us the land, the county was going to build it, and we were going to pay for it from our parks assessment. So from anything out of that situation, if you learn that we need local patrol because we came through on our part and they didn't come through on their part, and that's why we need local patrol.
Okay. Roger?
Yes, land acquisition is a big issue. The parks, yes, but we also got to have a place for the city and the city services and city functions. It looks like that gravel quarry out on Bundy is just about the only property that the county's got to send down to us. I hope they send that down to us, but we need to find a lot.
Yes, Cheryl?
There's a myriad of ways that we can address the parks, future parks. We need a diversity of parks in this community. Sports parks, an equestrian center would be nice, a dog park, some nature parks for people who like to hike. But, you know, we're going to have city staff. We're going to have people that can help us find the money, not through assessments, not through taxes. There's a lot more money available when you're a city than when you're in the county. We will be policy makers, policy setters. We will depend on staff to bring these options to us.
Okay. Anyone else have a comment on parks? Yes, Marcia?
Along with parks, we need a community center, somewhere where we can all meet, we can have our meetings, we can get together, we can have a recreation department. Parks aren't much good at all if there's nobody there to run the recreation end of it. We need to have planned programs for the kids, for the adults, and for the seniors. So we need to look at a recreation department along with parks.